Hi. So, what is serialization in Java? So, this is another frequently asked interview question in Java. So, what is serialization? When do we need to use it, and how can we avoid it? And what are the precautions we need to take when we do a serialization? So, these are the different things we're going to discuss today. So, what is serialization? Serialization is nothing but converting the Java objects into byte, okay, into a binary format. Okay. So when do we need to do that? Like mostly like when you want to transfer your object from one layer to another layer, like you want to persist your object somewhere, then you need to go with a serialization. Okay. So the precaution you need to take here is, okay, let's say like I am having an object A, okay, I am going to serialize it now, okay, and I serialize it, okay. Tomorrow I am going to make any changes on that object, okay. So when I'm going to send the same data over and going to persist, okay, when deserialize it, okay, the object which I received earlier and the object I'm going to receive now, it's like from the client perspective, it is not going to be same because I change some of the properties and it is going to create me a new, version of serialization. Okay. So there is a kind of a inconsistency. Okay. To resolve this, what you need to do, you need to attach a serial version ID. You need to attach this UID with your object, okay, telling that for my serialization I will be using the version 123. Okay. So with this, okay, even though like if you change any number of changes in the object or at any point, okay, like still when you deserialize it, okay, it go by the version ID. The default implementation of like instead of using the default implementation, it will go by the version ID and it will find it, okay, this object I already serialized and this is the version ID, so I can bind this object with the previous version ID. So using the version ID, the compiler is able to identify, okay, the object, okay, and make it like a, okay, I already have this object and it's the same object which I am getting again. At that time, type of identification is possible because of using the version ID. Okay, so that is a kind of precaution which we need to take. Okay, you see, okay, so ID is nothing but it's a stamp. Okay, it is a kind of a stamp for an object. Okay, consequence of not specifying serial version ID is that when you add or modify any field in a class, then already serialized class will not be able to recover because serialized version generated for new class and for old class object will be different. So that is why you need to use the serial version ID. Okay, to avoid default behavior, you need to override and have your own serial version ID. Okay, so suppose I have a Pojo and I'm thinking like some of these fields in my Pojo, okay, I don't want to serialize. Okay, so how to do it? Easy. Okay, either make it a static or a transitive. So if you make this using this keyword, like you can avoid serializing your attributes. Okay, and the other one is like if you try to serialize an object of it, okay, like I have a class, okay, and the class is actually I mentioned it as a serializable, okay, but I have an object in my class which is actually mentioned as non serializable. Okay, so what will happen in that case, okay, when I try to serialize my object, right? So what will happen, it will do not serializable, etc. Okay, if you try to serialize an object of a class which implements serializable but object includes a reference of non-serializable class, then not serializable exception will happen. Okay, so you need to make sure, like if you having any reference of another class, you need to make sure, okay, that class is also capable of serializable. Okay, so if you don't want your class to be serializable, like I don't want my class itself serializable by anyone, the easy way of doing it, okay, you write your own write and read method and just throw the not serializable exception. Okay, so I wrote a person class, okay, I don't want anyone to serialize my person class, then I just need to override my write and read object okay, and just throw the exception. So if someone try to serialize me, I'll be throwing an exception. That is what happened here. Okay, hope you all guys understand the purpose of serialization. What's the precaution machinery, and if you want to avoid serialization, what are the different things you need to do. Thank you.